Hey guys, Viggoman here, and welcome back to another video where we will be working on the old forest in between the towns of Rovitz and Lunden. First of all, I just want to thank you for the amazing feedback on the previous video from this place. You guys came with a lot of great ideas, and now I'm super inspired and excited to keep on working on this old forest. The first thing we're building today is a new settlement, which in fact will bring something brand new to the world. We'll bring in a new humanoid species. We're building a dwarf settlement. This dwarf settlement is partially abandoned and will bring a lot of new lore and history to this place. Welcome to the partially abandoned dwarf settlement called Duribella. As you can see here, it's far from done, but this will be the next part of today's video, is to work on the area surrounding it. But let's first take a look at the dwarven settlement itself. As I said, it's partially abandoned. There used to be this was never a massive dwarven city or anything, but there was probably like 10 families living here, running this place as a community, but now we're down to like 2-3 families running here. And basically the thing is that it wasn't really economically viable for them to live here anymore. And a lot of the people have moved over to the main dwarven citadel, or dwarven capital, which we'll build probably somewhere in the future, because gems and stuff like that is more abundant, and it's definitely more profitable than what this place is doing, is smithing and making stuff out of iron. And as the humans have evolved to do that pretty proficiently themselves, they're not making that much profit. So that is the lore behind this place here. A lot of them has then moved over to the gem industry. So we have some pillars here. It's falling down. This of course will be worked on, all this out here. But you're coming here, there's a little plaza with 2 statues. One of them is broken down and the other one is standing here. Pretty cool. And the gate and all of that stuff is pretty grand and awesome looking. So we go inside here. It will be a little dark because we are underground in fact, but I think it looks majestic. It looks pretty dwarven in a way as well. You come in here, there's a big hall, and again, this is not a massive dwarven settlement, so don't expect anything too big. But you come in here, we have the main hall, and this is where the people live, or most of the people live, and actually currently all the people live. So this hall here is open, and this is where all the stuff happens. Down below on the side of this walkway here, we have the professions. So this is where people work day in and day out. We have some workshops, but a lot of them are now abandoned, not in use, like this one over here. And here's another one where the roof actually caved in here, so they have to rework it. But over here we have a little carpentry area, so they do some woodwork and things. And one of the families is mainly a carpenter. That's the idea behind that. Over on the other side we have the smithing area, and there used to be 3 big forges here. Currently only one of them is being used, this one right here, built into the wall. But as you can see, there is another one right over here, and it's a little dark. Maybe I do have a glow on. There we go. Another one over here. Over here is just like a garbage pile. This is where they throw all the stuff they don't need anymore, and like spare rocks that are crumbling down, just to clean them out of the way. So there's a little pile over there. And then the families, they live up here on these walkways on the sides here. So over here we have a little alcove, or whatever you want to call it, where one family lives. There's some beds and a little place for the kids to sleep up above. So very small, but it's all a shared community in here. That's kind of the idea I wanted to create here, where they're all sharing all the resources and stuff like that. In here we actually have access to a little bit of the fence as well, some arrow slits looking out like that. There's a little path, or hallway leading on to here. We will check that out later. Here we have another bed or housing thing, which is not in use anymore. This then leads to let's go over here. The feast hall, which they still use. So there's one table here they still use like that. And then there is another wood table that is currently not being used anymore, so they're just storing stuff on it, and yeah, they're not really attending to it at all. But there's a stair in the back here which leads down to the kitchens and the cellars. So this is the kitchen area below the feast hall, and this is still pretty actively being used. And this leads back out to the lower level. In the middle of this entire thing here, we have a massive heart which keeps the entire place warm, which is pretty cool. And as you can see, there's like this dwarven statue carved into the top of the fireplace here. There is also another face carved on this wall. Another little detail I want to show you is that we have these massive brass lamps hanging from the ceiling here, and there was another one over here, but it fell down and broke part of the floor, and since there's not enough people here to repair it, they just kind of removed it, and there's currently just one massive chandelier hanging here. Up on this side we have a couple more houses, I guess. So there's one here that is being used like that, and another one over here that is not being used as a house anymore, but I've actually rebuilt it, or actually just covered up the front here to become sort of a bar. So this is where the couple of families that still live here, they can come in here after a long day and grab some beer and stuff like that. And then over here we have another one where there's one guy living, and this is basically the barkeeper here, so he's running the bar over there. This leads to another one of these arrow slits looking out here. It's pretty cool. Now over here I showed you a hallway. This leads into a section where we have some more houses or living alcoves that are all abandoned. So there's 4 more of them here, like that. They're all abandoned, but it actually leads to a small like hidden escape route. So you can go through here, up and around, and this leads to an exit, another entrance into the mountain here. So yeah, that's pretty cool, and that is basically the Dwarven settlement right here. Now let's start working on the area in front of the Dwarven settlement here, which I think will be an ancient forest similar to what we have over here, but maybe with some new fancy trees. So this forest is way less dense than the other forests we have built around here, and together with these great oak trees built by KongTheMonkey, we have created a very ancient feeling forest. As I said, the oak trees are built by someone else, namely KongTheMonkey, a fellow conquest builder, but also a YouTuber. So I'll leave a link down below for his channel so you can check out his stuff. He's such a great tree builder. I just love the way this forest here turned out, and as you can see, there's some reminders of some old structures as well, especially this massive aqueduct, which I'm imagining was probably a way of powering a massive mill, maybe a hammer mill or sawmill for the Dwarven kingdom. Now let's move away from the Dwarven area here and move over to the other side of the valley, where we will build a ruin. Of a fortress, and the idea is that back in the day, thousands of years ago, this place was built here to control this passageway between these two kingdoms. It's currently not in use, or actually it might be, but it's falling apart because people don't want to have a war in this district anymore, so all of the harmful buildings and the things that causes conflict have been abandoned, but some people have started using this. So this is actually now a bandit's hideout, and I think it's such a cool building here. I love the ruin, the way it looks. I think I've really captured the ruin vibe. So you come in through here, and there's actually a settlement of some bandits in here. But let's fly up and take a look at some of the outer details first. You can see we have like a ruined tower over here, which is well, looking pretty cool, I think. And then some bigger halls. You can see all of the wooden structures and everything like that is all gone. It's all rotted away, more or less. So the bandits, what they have done is they've covered up the openings with some cloth to just protect themselves from the weather a little bit, over here like that. And there's also a little turret on the side here as well, kind of even protecting the path up to the fortress even more. Now let's go through this little gate here. And inside here there's a little bit of a courtyard where they have some storage and stuff like that. To the left here we have the kitchen. They have, oh, you're not supposed to be there. A little kitchen, very simple stuff. They've kind of reused what was here, but yeah, it's very old, but it works. But then on the other side of the area here we have the feast hall, which is also very worn down and old, but it does work. So as you can see, it's not a massive castle. It's not for, it's not for many people, but for a little bandit group like this, it really works. So that's kind of cool. Over here there's a staircase, which is a little shady, so we need to kind of jump up here. And we get to the top of the battlement in front of the gate here. Over here, above the kitchen area, we have where the chief is living. This is his like bedroom, and it's all falling apart, but it's covered up nicely. So, or actually, it's not covered up nicely, but it's a little bit covered up, so it's better than nothing. And this is where he lives. And one thing you'll see is that there are like some things that just feels out of place, and that is likely things they've stolen, like this golden calibra here. So I think it's really cool. And the walls, as you can see, some of the wooden coverings are all like falling away. This is a door leading out to this little now ruined wall as well. And this leads to another turret over here, which is also ruined. On this other side here we have the living room, or the sleeping quarters for the rest of the bandits. So this is where they live, and there's a big map on the ground for the lowest ranking bandits, and then some bigger or better beds for the higher ranking bandits. And it's quite cozy in here. It's very open and nice. And through here we get into this ruined tower as well. Let's take a look at the final stages of this old forest that we have been working on. And the forest, as you can see right now, is getting sparser and sparser, but I think it looks really cool. So following down the road from the ruined fort over there, we get to this area here where we actually have, let me show you, there's a little bit of a beehive over here, or an apiary, where we have some honey production happening because of all the meadows and stuff. And we have an inn, a small inn alongside the road here. But one of the key features of this inn, or it's actually not of this inn, but this old obelisk of sorts. It's a very old stone structure. So the people here don't know what it's about and why it's here and how old it is and who put it there. But they all know that it's massive. And as you can see, it's slightly leaning as well. So maybe when it was built, it was actually straight up and it has some sort of purpose. But over years, the ground has shifted and it's sunk little by little. And it could be thousands of years old, who knows. But it's really cool, and it's sort of the features I like to add just to create some mystery in this world. So the inn is built next to that, so it's kind of known as the Inn by the Stone. And this is kind of a landmark. People can navigate towards this stone here to find the inn if they're traversing through the forest here. The inn is very cozy. I decided to keep the ceilings and stuff like that very low, so that it feels very cozy and very cramped. And it's not big at all. There's just a couple of places for people to stop by here. In the back here we have a little kitchen as well for preparing all of the food and stuff like that. So let's go outside here. And it's actually quite cozy. So there's this walk around thing here, which leads over to this little stream which flows down towards Lunden here. And then there's a stair that takes you up to the second floor. And here we have a shared room for all of the guests visiting the inn. So this is where they come, and you can rent a bed right there. So nothing fancy at all. But next to that we have the sleeping chambers and the living room for the family running this, so the innkeeper. And here we have one bed for the parents, so it's quite small. But then around here above the kitchen we have a place for the kids to sleep over the furnace or over the oven here, so it's nice and hot, and possibly the chimney here retains some of the heat over the night, so it's warmer for the kids. It's something they did a little bit back in the days, so a little cool thing. And then up on top here in the attic we just have some storage for all sorts of things. So that is the little inn, and I think it's really cute and definitely something you want alongside this road here. Just imagine this again, like the scale I'm building at is not realistic. This would have been a day's march at least, maybe 2 days march between Lunden over here and Rovitz over here, but I'm building it at a much smaller scale to create this kind of video game feeling where you can walk between everything and the entire world is filled up with detail. So it's very close to the town over here, but just imagine you might have walked for 10 hours before you get to this place, if that makes sense. So I think it's really cute and I like it. Further down here we have a couple of farms. So as we're getting closer to the town here, we will have more farming, and you'll see more infrastructure and more modern landscapes, I guess. So most of the land here is planted and used as fields of sorts. But I really like this old row of trees we have going here, so just really telling how old this place really is. And we also have some of the stones that we saw over at the ancient forest there. We have the same type of rocks, so just tying it all together. Following down this road here we have a little bridge which finally connects it all up to this place here, which is really cool. So a little bridge just tying now Lunden, which is over here with a beautiful castle, to Rovitz all the way over there. And guys, that is it for the massive old forest between Lunden and Rovitz. And I gotta say, I love the way this turned out. It really feels like a lively forest where you have all sorts of different different kind of forests. We have some denser deciduous forests, we have some denser coniferous forests, we have ruins, we have settlements, we even have dwarfs in here as well. And then we have the rivers just flowing gracefully through in this entire thing as well. And infrastructure such as sawmills, lumberjacks, everything that just makes this entire forest here come alive. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I really do hope that you enjoyed. If so, make sure to smack that like button, and if you haven't done it already, make sure to subscribe. It's been Viggoman, and I'm out.